When you say X the tax, how would this program will work if you X the tax? Some people are concerned that where the revenue is going to come. Well, in spite of our domestic issues,
Yes.
present government is giving away billions of dollars to the other countries like Ukraine and other. It's a very painful process for a lot of people. While we are suffering and the money is given out, how would you stop this squandering? Is there any kind of agreement that you have to be bound by, or you can stop it? No, that the billions of dollars are being spent. Can you make a commitment today that you will stop this until we, the people of Canada, are able to fulfill our basic needs? Then money will be given to other countries.
We need to end the chaos in the system. The international student program, for example, is a total mess. I'll be fixing that program so that you have to prove that you have a home, an income, and an admissions letter to a real educational institution before you can come to Canada.
This Arrive app
Yes.
has made a lot of news stories, and you have given a lot of statements about it. The Prime Minister said they're going to punish the people, the culprits. The same token, are you planning to change the procurement and tendering process of the federal government? Red FM ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ 89.1 ਤੇ 93.1 CKYE। ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੀ ਘੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ 11:02 ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਲੀਡਰ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਪੀਅਰ ਪੋਲੀਐਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਨ। ਅਗਲੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤੂਫਾਨੀ ਦੌਰਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਮੁਲਕ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ, ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਹਿੱਸਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਨ। Mr. Poilievre, thank you very much for coming here personally and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I was watching one of your ads. It's a 28-second ad. It's clicking very well with the public that you're fixing a puzzle and you say everything is broken in Canada.
Yes.
So if things are that broken, how are you going to fix it? What's your plan?
Axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime. You know, after 8 years of Justin Trudeau and the NDP, how everything costs more. Work doesn't pay. You make it, he takes it. Housing costs have doubled. Crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder are common in our streets. We have tent cities that we never had before. We have a massive increase in drug overdoses. It's a mess. Everything's broken. And today there was a poll that showed 70% of Canadians agree that the country is broken after 8 years of Trudeau. So my common sense plan is to axe the carbon tax to lower gas, heat, and grocery bills. We're going to cap government spending and cut government waste so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. We're going to require cities permit 15% more homes as a condition of getting federal funding so that they remove the enormous bureaucratic obstacles to allow builders to build so we can have the homes that people can afford. We're going to get rid of the catch and release Trudeau justice system that allows the same repeat offenders out again and again. Bring in jail, not bail for repeat violent offenders. And we'll ban hard drugs, bring in more treatment and recovery to bring our loved ones home drug-free. That's a brief summary, but I'm happy to go into more specifics.
When you say X the tax, how would this program will work if you X the tax? Some people are concerned that where the revenue is going to come.
So right now, government is bloated, spending way too much money to achieve way too little. Effectively, they've grown the bureaucracy by 50%. They've doubled the number of dollars spent on outside consultants to $21 billion. That means $1,400 in your family, Harjinder. Your family is spending $1,400 in federal taxes for outside consultants alone. I'm going to cut all that. I'm going to cut the waste. And we're going to put the savings into tax cuts and balanced budgets to bring home lower prices for Canadians.
We're noticing that your party and yourself are going up in the polls. In the event you become the next Prime Minister of Canada, what's in there for the people of British Columbia?
Well, like I said, I think the choice for them is, do you want a costly coalition of the NDP and Trudeau who tax your food, take your money, punish your work, double your housing costs, and unleash crime and chaos in your community, or common sense conservatives who axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime? And I think that the polls reflect that people want the common sense conservatives. I'll give you another specific example. Tim Singh Appalji, my deputy leader, has introduced a bill to crack down on extortion, to jail the extortionists who've been terrorizing Surrey, Calgary, Edmonton, Brampton, and other communities. And he's also we're also bringing in tougher laws to crack down on car theft. These are what people in British Columbia are concerned about. The way I see it is, I see a country where, people can afford food again, where hard work pays off, where you can come from anywhere in the world with nothing but a suitcase and build a business that ends up employing 250 people, where your 26-year-old children can get married and get a house again. That's the way it was. We don't have to give up on that. Trudeau is not worth the cost, the crime, the corruption, and he's not worth the country we know and love. You don't have to give up the things you used to take for granted in Canada for the ego and incompetence of one man. We need to bring home the country that we know and love.
Well, in spite of our domestic issues,
yes,
present government is giving away billions of dollars to the other countries like Ukraine and other. It's a very painful process for a lot of people while we are suffering and the money is given out. How would you stop this squandering? Is there any kind of agreement that you have to be bound by, or you can stop it?
So, look, on Ukraine, I think Ukraine needs to win, because the Russians will just invade yet another country if they are able to topple Ukraine. But the best way to help for us is to export our natural gas to break Russia's financial system. Russia's paying for the war by selling its gas into Europe. We have 1,300 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. We have cold weather and clean hydro to liquefy it cheaper and cleaner than anywhere else on Earth. We have shorter shipping distances than the Americans to Europe. Let's sell our gas to the Europeans to break European dependence on Putin and turn dollars for dictators into paychecks for our people.
No. What I'm asking is that
foreign aid in general?
no, that the billions of dollars are being spent. Can you make a commitment today that you will stop this until we, the people of Canada, are able to fulfill our basic needs? Then money will be given to other countries.
I will be cutting back overall on foreign aid. I've been very clear on that. I will cut foreign aid because it's going to dictators like the China-backed Asia Infrastructure Bank. It's going to terrorists like the Hamas-linked UNRWA terrorist, Hamas-linked UNRWA in Gaza. We are going to be putting the money back into our military, bringing home our money from the rest of the world and putting it into our armed forces. I also think that there's a tremendous number of international bureaucracies that soak up Canadian cash, and I'm going to be cutting them off as well.
Another motto that's attracting people among your manifesto is that you're saying build more houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, supply of the houses is very less and demand is more. That's a simple, very simple thing to understand. But at the same time, would you allow government lands to build houses on? Like
yes.
A province like British Columbia, we are short of land. So can you allow that?
Yes. I will sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land. I'm in the process right now of doing a full inventory of all of the land and building assets that the federal government has. My goal is to sell off 15% of the buildings and thousands of acres of federal land to build. And it'll be a very simple process. We will sell the land to builders with a covenant that says they have to build affordable homes on the land within a short time frame. And that will be one way we're going to build the homes.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Poilievre, there are about 1 million people who are here on work permits or refugees, or, they have pretty well in maybe a few months they will be running out of status. All those 1 million people whose work permits won't be renewed or they're expiring. So would you, with the stroke of the pen, will make them permanent residents of Canada, or you let them go out of the country?
Well, there's not I can't do anything with a stroke of a pen. What I would do, though, is on a case-by-case, people who are making a contribution, paying their taxes, following the law, honoring that they honored the conditions of their work permits and are still needed in our economy should stay as permanent residents. If someone is here and they haven't worked, haven't paid taxes, or have broken rules, worked under the table, that's a different story. We need to end the chaos in the system. The international student program, for example, is a total mess. I'll be fixing that program so that you have to prove that you have a home, an income, and an admissions letter to a real educational institution before you can come to Canada. And I think that right there would clean up a lot of the problem. You know, in Brampton, they had found 25 students living in one basement. These kids didn't have home, they didn't have income. Some of them didn't really have an admission letter to a real institution, and yet they're working under the table, probably being exploited. We need to end that chaos in our system, and that's what I will do.
This Arrive app
Yes.
has made a lot of news stories, and you have given a lot of statements about it. The Prime Minister said they're going to punish the people, the culprits. The same token, are you planning to change the procurement and tendering process of the federal government?
Yes. First of all, I don't know what he means when he says he's going to punish them. How has he punished them? They've made off like bandits with our money. This app, he said it would cost $80,000. It's cost $60 million that we know of, and there's still other costs. The Auditor General said she doesn't know. After doing a 2-year-long audit, she still can't figure out how much was spent on it because the records are missing. One company with 4 employees and a headquarters in the basement of a cottage got over $20 million of Arrive Can contracts to do IT work, even though they admit they do no IT work. Across government, they've got $250 million. 4 guys in a basement of a cottage got $250 million tax dollars. I don't know how Trudeau can say he's punishing them. What punishment? Nobody's gone to jail. Nobody's had to give back the money. I would, first of all, why are we contracting all this stuff out? It's an app. It's not a complicated app. It's a very simple app. There were a couple of IT workers who, as a joke, redesigned the Arrive Can app in a weekend with a couple of boxes of pizza and a case of beer. And yet when they contracted out for $60 million, why can't we do it in-house? We've got 40% more bureaucrats. Why aren't they doing that work in-house instead of consultants that charge $5,000 a day per person? It's bonkers. I'm going to be cutting off these consultants and saving the money so that we can lower the burden on Canadians.
Election is still quite far away. It's next year. In the meantime, are you taking special precautions, or are you hired a special staff in order to keep things going and rotating and moving with momentum?
Yes, our main goal right now is to summarize the common sense plan: axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime, and to communicate that over. Because if you show up a week before the election and try to explain your plan, nobody's going to digest it. It takes months and years to go across the country and repeatedly explain what you're doing. And that's why I'm back in BC again, focusing on axing the tax, building the homes, fixing the budget, stopping the crime. And my team is spreading that message as well.
People of Canada has very high expectations from you. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
What I would say is that we can't accept the way things are in Canada. My worry is that people will say, well, I guess that's just the way Canada is. You can't afford a home, you're not safe on your streets, work doesn't pay, that's just life in Canada. We can't accept that. Canada was never like this before Trudeau. And it's hard to remember how good things were or imagine how much better they can be, but the picture I would paint is one of children laughing as they skip safely off to school in the morning. Shopkeepers sweeping away the front of their store as they wave to seniors driving home with groceries in their pockets, groceries in their car and change in their pockets, of small businesses buzzing, of children playing street hockey and other sports, not with their parents no longer worried that their safety is threatened, of a young couple sitting on the porch of their newly purchased home, admiring their paycheck after they've put their kids to bed. This is a beautiful story, but it's one that we took for granted 8 years ago. It's one that we're going to bring home again.
You're showing dreams to the people. Is it dream can come true?
Well, it did come true. This is the country we had. You know, I met this incredible guy yesterday. He was born in Kerala. He was abandoned by his parents. And he was adopted by a Canadian couple. They brought him here, 9 years old. He didn't speak any English. He spoke Malayali. He learned English. He now opened the most popular restaurant in Toronto. It's called Sash. And they're making a movie about this guy. It's coming out next month. You should have this guy on your show. Incredible. I just met him yesterday. And these are the kinds of stories we had in Canada. My wife came from Venezuela as a refugee, 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. Now her dad owns a business. Her brother's a soldier, other brother's a carpenter, sister's a nurse. This is Canada. This is what we should come to expect. This is a place where you work hard, you can achieve your dreams. That's the Canada we're going to bring home.
Mr. Poilievre, thank you very much. And I really like your poetic dream that you have shown us.
Thank you.
And looking forward to talk to you again.
Thank you. Let's bring it home.
Thank you.